All right, as with every Thursday, we're tapping into the Hero's Handbook to help fellow veterans make sure they are using and have access to all the benefits they earn for being willing to die for this country. So, if you know a veteran, call them, tell them to tune in right now, because back with us, Tommy Marquez to break it all down. Okay, Tommy, you were here last week. You talked about a bunch of things that veterans are due for before they get out, but now we know how hard it is to transition from the military and that there's a ton of federal programs that are available to help. What do you got for us?
Well, I want to talk today to veterans, disabled veterans, and in some cases, military spouses who are in that transition process and they're looking for employment. I have spoken with so many veterans while I was working in Congress and post my congressional career who are very upset about USA Jobs. They were upset because USA Jobs, they applied for numerous employment opportunities there, and then come to find out that they don't get the job. They get a dreaded email many months later. What I found out when I was working in Congress is that a lot of those positions have already been taken. Up to about 60% of those jobs are already gone due to internal hiring processes, direct hiring authority, and programs like that. Now, I tell veterans, don't waste your time on USA Jobs. I want to give you a much better resource. That's fedshirevets.gov. Again, that's fedshirevets.gov. And there's a real reason why I tell veterans to use this program instead of USA Jobs. Number one, on this website, they list all sorts of information you're going to want to know about point preference. Now, I hear people poo-pooing. So, point preference is a veteran preference system that provides special consideration to certain former members of the armed forces who are pursuing civilian employment. Essentially, they give you a leg up in either a 0, 5, or 10-point preference, and will select you if you match a candidate who has got the exact same points as you based on that point preference. Yeah. Now, that is huge, and I often hear people say, well, it doesn't come into the equation, but it does, because in 2016, Congressional Research Service did a report on this, that about 37% of all non-seasonal, full-time, permanent new hires came via point preference. Yeah. So that's a large number when you consider the small population of veterans who are applying for these positions. Yeah. Now, what's also great about this website is, and this is just a hidden gem that I try to stress to everyone, and I put these videos out on my social media platforms all the time, and I'm surprised by how many veterans have never heard about this, that when you go onto that website, fedshirevets.gov, and you click under hiring officials, you will find a list of the Veteran Employment Program Offices Directory. In that listing, you have it up right there. This is perfect. They not only list the federal agency, they give you the name of the program manager. In many cases, they give you an email and in some cases a phone number. This is paramount to veterans successfully obtaining employment within federal agencies, because you could actually directly contact somebody at that agency, ask them about recruitment, which is a possibility for veterans and disabled veterans, and in some cases military spouses, but they can also guide you through the process of potentially getting directly hired.
That would be amazing.
Now, the point I want to make to people is I've actually used this program, and I was unsuccessful getting a job at the VA, but it wasn't because of an opportunity didn't arise. It's because I didn't want to work at the VA. But what I tell people is, in USA Jobs, you're one of 10,000, 20,000 people applying for a position.
Right.
On Feds Hire Vets, when you talk to these people and they're able to directly sole source hire you using direct authority, you're one of one.
One of one, yeah.
And even if you're just being looked at and recruited, you're one of 5, you're one of 10. Those are much better odds.
No, 100%. So what website one more time?
fedshirevets.gov. Okay. And if you have any questions on this, you can always go to my social media at Tommy Marquez Consulting. I do tons of videos on programs just like this. I've covered this several times. Perfect. All in helps to help veterans.
Tommy Marquez, always a pleasure, sir.
Thank you, Carl.
All right.